If you'll join me today, our epistle lesson is in Hebrews 10:39. It's on page 273 of the Pew Bible in the New Testament section. But we do not belong to those who shrink back and are destroyed, but to those who have faith and are saved. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. That is our WMU theme. We don't shrink back. I love that. We are here today to talk about that and to celebrate and thank God for His love and support and beginning Christian Women's Job Corps, and thank you to First Baptist Church for answering that call. And we're celebrating our 10th year of anniversary. I cannot believe we have been doing this ministry for 10 years. Thank you. Thank you, First Baptist, for nurturing our program, for allowing us to have a site here, and for beginning that site, and for joining and bringing and doing and praying and all that it takes to make that site get started. And thank you to other churches, so many, the community, who's brought their gifts, their prayers, their offerings, their things when we call for things we need, and they show up. Thank you. It takes a community to put all that together and make it work, and thank you for answering God's call in that. Do we always answer God's call? I'm thankful that people here seem to. Someone, before I knew anything about Christian Women's Job Corps, came to our minister, then Daniel Glaze, and said, here is some money, and you have to use it for a different purpose than a different kind of mission or ministry. We have to start something new. Well, that's a bit of something for a minister to think about, and I'm sure he prayed about it. That person must have felt moved by the Spirit to do that. And thank you, whoever that person is. And so I was a person retiring and looking to find something more in my Christian faith to do. And I'd heard about the ministry, but never could get any information about it. If you know me, you know I really tried now. I called, I did, I visited, I asked. And for some reason, I couldn't seem to find out what I wanted to know. I even went to a WMU conference at Ridgecrest and got right to the breakout session. And I had my questions. I knew what I wanted to know. And a girl came in and said, the speaker can't make it. She had some tragedy in her family, but I'm here. And so we said, what do you know? She said, nothing. And it's not helpful. But I think, looking backwards, I think that happened because I never would have gone to the training if I'd been able to get all my questions answered. So maybe that was it. But someone gave that money, and the minister was smart enough to say, somebody told him I was thinking about it, and he called and removed all the reasons that maybe I could not go. So I went, and then I was sold. Because when I went, I really just went to get the information. You may make excuses. I'm not saying I'll do it, but I will get the information. He said, okay, go ahead. Go get the information, and I was sold. A week's training, and I loved it. And I had met LaCamp Anderson, and I had gone to poverty training, and everything had been leading me up to learn about some things I didn't know anything about. Now, God brought that person who gave some money for probably something they didn't know what it was going to be, and then me looking for something. And then as the church agreed that we would do it, he brought that church together and others to join. Someone came and sat beside me. I was scared because it was new. And someone, I'll never forget him, came and just came up beside me before church and said, I'm going to give you some money to start out, and when you need more money, I want this to work. I think this is a good idea. And I said, thank you, and went home and cried. I was so touched. Because God brought every person together. Because He wanted us to do something to help others. There are so many passages in the Bible that explain why we need to help others. Tons. Google it, you'll see. But I knew we needed to start something, and so we did. It kind of reminds me when you're bringing people together. A few years ago, we kept seeing, as we were doing this ministry, that there were so many women, and I know you can't imagine this, because till you see it or live it or get to know people, we can't imagine that there's so many people that don't know what they're going to eat today, that don't know where they're going to sleep. Things happen, life happens, and it's not always of our own doing that this happens. It happens to people, good, nice people. But as long as we're secure in our world, we don't realize it's all around us. And in a hospital, there were very many women that didn't have any place to live. Living in cars, I learned more about where to park your car if you're trying to sleep in your car, and where you wash up, go to the bathroom so people don't know you're homeless. You can't believe that's all around us, but it is. So we talked about a transitional home. We couldn't figure out how it would work. We prayed about it. Our board prayed. And when you pray to the Lord, if He wants something to happen, it happens. And after much discussion and bringing it to our church, someone else answered a call one night, and we were in our discussions. There were questions, there were worries, there's a little bit of misinformation. It's a step, it's a big step. And so there was this one gentleman there, very respected in our church, and I noticed he never said anything the whole night until the very end, and it was getting kind of like questioning back and forth. And finally, he said, "Why don't we just try it?" Everybody got quiet, and we voted, and the vote was passed almost unanimously, because he just quieted us all down. The Holy Spirit must have said, "Why not try it?" And how many times are you going to meet and you want to say something you don't? Well, he did. And so we began. And people have answered that call all over our town of bringing things, decorating, doing things. It was a wonderful adventure. It's been a wonderful mission for us to provide help to people. People come to our class for different reasons. Everybody who comes to our class is not in poverty. Some people need emotional help. Some people are alone in our town. They are lonely. They don't have a community, and they're looking for community. Some people need some help and direction. Some people need a place to live. Some people need many things. But we've had people that really had plenty of money, and they didn't want anything but family. They wanted help and a family feeling of some place they could be loved and comforted, and they could talk. So they come for different reasons. Every Friday when we're here, and we've been doing this 10 years, and I've had so many people say, "Don't y'all leave at lunch?" And I'm like, "No." Wait, so I'm saying it loud. We're here every Friday from about 8:30. Now classes start at 9, but those of us who are leaders are here at 8:30, getting everything open, getting everything ready. And we don't leave till a little before 3. Sometimes we're out at 2, but you never can tell. It depends on the classes. And we have classes like budgeting and those kind of things, computers, how to visioning, how do you want your life to look, and how are you going to get there? How to repair your credit, all those kind of things. We do a lot now with Tradeify and the community college, and we've even got them coming out teaching some courses. So we're evolving as things are needed and as we go. Some classes people don't need, some they do, but we do the general to make sure we cover everything. And then through the week we help them with other things. We help with tuition and transportation and other needs, benevolence help. You cannot learn and do good in school if you are hungry or if you don't have a place to live. You have to help people with their personal needs first, their security, their physical needs, and we try to do that. And thank you. Because of you, we are able to do that. Because someone answered a call, because you give, because you pray. So many people. I wish you could see the face and know about the lives of every person you have helped in some way, touched their heart, done something that has helped them. I want to give you two examples, and I want you to try to think, before we talk about these, I want you to clear your mind and imagine that you don't have your family, you don't have your house, you don't have your bank account. You wake up tomorrow and you have you, and you have God. And you don't have people you can call on, because I have a lot of people say, well, I've always done everything for myself, nobody helped me. I don't think so. If you had good parents, they helped you. If you had parents, they helped you. You have community of church that helped you. You grew up and teachers helped you. No, somebody has helped us all. But there are people that don't have as many resources as we may have, or they find themselves in a different state, running away from abuse, and they don't have the resources. So I want you to think that you don't have all those blessings that you have, and I want to tell you some stories. We had a person that was in foster care pretty much of her life. Her mother had to give her up for some reason, and some of her other children, and so she grew up in foster care. And when she got 18, she got out of foster care. So where do you go when you're on your own at 18? You graduated from high school, and it's you. Just like I asked you to be in that field where it's just you and God. Where do you go? Well, she came to a hospice because it's where she did have family, and tried to reconnect with that family, hoping they would take her in. They didn't. So you're 18 and you're alone, and you're smart. How many of you have an 18-year-old that you think if they dropped to another planet could take care of themselves? Not many. Not many. Because even when they're 18 and they get a job, you might have helped them. You call somebody. They knew they were from your family, so they hired them because they figured that you treated them, trained them, and they know what to do. But if you don't have that support system, who can help you? You're so alone. And we help that person. So thank you. You help that person. And I've had several like that. Foster care can be lonely. And then you're on your own. And how do you make it at 17 or 18? Another lady was married. She did everything we would think you should do. She followed what her husband wanted. She raised her children. She didn't work because he didn't want her to. He wanted her to be at home. That was my moment too, but that's not the story I'm telling you. She stayed at home because my daddy insisted. But she did all those things. She was married. She lived in this town. And suddenly her husband decided he wanted somebody else. And she was of age and the children were grown. And she was on her own. She hadn't worked in much at all, and certainly not in 15 years. And she didn't have her place to live anymore. She didn't have, her children had moved off somewhere else, and goodness, she didn't want to tell them what condition she was in. She didn't want to ask them to help her. And we've helped her. You've helped her. Because of you, because of this church, other churches, our program. And then one day, she wasn't used to asking for help. Most of us, that's kind of hard to do. And one day, she was talking to me, and she had slept in an abandoned warehouse in this town, in this heat, because she just didn't want to keep asking. Now, she was doing everything. She got into Liberty's work, and she took all of her money, she put it into a place to rent, and she couldn't move in, she couldn't move in. She's running out of money, she's running out of money, and she's running out of money, and it's not ready. And could you sit in front of somebody? They've done everything they should do, and still nothing is going quite smoothly for them. But we help them. We got them to save a place to stay while they could work out the problem with the landlord. There are people all over our town like that. I know you can't believe it, because if 10 years ago I would have said, I can't see that. Well, that's the point, we can't see that. But you might pass them in Walmart or the store or something like that. There's so many. I know Miss Peggy knows, because she deals with the Britain ministry every day, and thank goodness for for them. Thank goodness for everyone who supported this ministry. You should feel great about that today. People who've done angel tree gifts, so many things. People who moved furniture, people who spoke up, people who donated. This is what God calls us to do, and we've done it. You've done it. We don't shrink back when it gets hard. We stand up. In that verse, we don't know who wrote it. My commentary said maybe Paul, maybe Luke. They speculated about who it might have been, but they're not named. They did call Timothy their brother. So it was someone close in that circle that we know. But they talk more about, in that verse, how we answer the call that Christ is the right road. He was probably writing to them at the time where people were being persecuted because they were Hebrew Christians. And they had become Christians and were now being persecuted. Sometimes the way our country's going, I think Christianity isn't so popular anymore. And sometimes we don't get the same support from people. They don't want to hear anything about Christianity, but we do not shrink back. We are Christians and we stand for what we believe. And you have shown we do what we believe. Thank you. Thank you for all the many people who have helped. Thank you for all you have done, your prayers, donations. There are many people from different churches represented out here today, and thank you. And thank you for staying the course. Today you saw our leadership in some of the things. Reverend Awani is our president, and Claire Presley is our vice president, and Linda is our treasurer. They try to keep me straight, but it's a big job. But anyway, they're wonderful. I want you, as you leave here, to stay and eat with us. But as you go into the fellowship hall, there's a bulletin board. You'll see lots of pictures of our participants. We have some here today, past and present. You'll see some statistics. I hope you'll read those and look at those. And we have our officers up there, all of our board members. So please, make yourself more familiar with what we do and who's involved. And if you feel in any way that you want to have a more active part, please just call me and let me know. But let us make sure as we go forward as Christians, when God puts an opportunity like that, this in our reach, that we are bold and we don't shrink back, and we take that new adventure or new ministry and we do what He's asking us to do, because He'll bring everything you need. Whatever you're missing, He has it. Because we started with, all I started with, I don't know, is what I knew. I don't know. I go to the training. I don't know how we're going to do exactly, but we followed what people gave, what they taught us, what they helped us with, and it's been a blessing. Hopefully, it's been a blessing to you too as you've given and done. I cannot thank you enough and thank God enough for bringing me to Christian Women's Job Corps. As you leave today, I have to say this. When she was reading and we were hearing those alarms go off, it wasn't a weather alarm to me. It was like God saying, yes, yes, yes. I'm like, yes. I just jumped up and said yes. That was my alarm of God. To me, it was God saying, yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying in these verses. If you've done it for someone else, you have done it for me. And that makes His heart so glad. Thank you again. Please stay for lunch. We have good food. I did not cook it. It's being catered. So you are safe. And we will have the fellowship hall is set out. We have some other breakout rooms. There's plenty of seating and plenty of food. So please come and enjoy. I have some children's items, so if you don't see them, ask the ladies down there. And please, if you have any questions, there's also going to be a video as soon as I run down there and turn it on. Hopefully I can get in that loop. If you did not see it on our website, we are part of the state WMU video for Christian Women's Job Corps. They asked us to send any clips we had. I think they gave me like 2 days to get it there. I'm like, dang, this is too quick, but we did it. So it's got some of our people in there. Some of the people are from another site. but we felt so glad that we got to have some of our participants in there to talk and to hear. And so you will see them, it's just like a little 4-minute video or something, and it's supposed to run in a loop. So hopefully you'll have a minute and you can look at that and see. So I know Dr. Gillum is going to bless the food as he ends us at the end of the service, so you can come right on in there and get in line and eat. People will serve you. And thank you for coming today. You know, usually people don't show up if the preacher doesn't preach, so I was very aware of that. So thank you. I never do that because I show up no matter what. And you know, I gotta say one other little thing. I have to say this. When our preacher Daniel Glaze was leaving our church, and we heard about it at a deacon's meeting, I mean, I'm not a big crier except right here when the music touches my soul or something like that. I cried like a blithering idiot. I know the other deacons were going like, I mean, I wasn't loud, but tears were just coming. I couldn't control it. Why was I crying like that? Because I loved him, and I loved how much he supported Christian Job Corps, and I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know who we're going to get. How can this be? What will happen with Christian Women's Job Corps? And after 2 days of me sobbing and crying and acting ridiculous at home, my husband thought somebody had died. He kept following me around. I couldn't talk. And so finally, I said, okay, God, I know you have the right person. I know you do. But I can't imagine how they could be as supportive or as wonderful. Well, he did. He did, and he brought us Dr. Gillum, and I thank him. He's so supportive of this ministry. And I know God knows what he's doing. Sometimes I'm not sure about me, but I do know when he guides us, if we follow, he will lead us the right way. So thank you for being here, and thank you for your patience.